Hi, welcome to Riffs on Writing, where we answer your writing and publishing questions in 5 minutes or less. I'm Caroline Topperman.
I'm Andy Cumbo.
And today we're talking about when to trust and when not to trust your editor.
Yeah. So first of all, you need an editor. Just hands down.
Period.
Maybe a couple, but at least one.
Yes.
And two, your editor's human. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to miss things. That's just the reality of working with other human beings. So, but editing is something that is largely determined by what you need, what the people you are looking at have recommended, like what they say, who has recommended these editors to you, but also what kinds of things the editors have read. You can't talk. And then the third is price, right? So you want to pay somebody a decent wage to do this. This is your book. This is important. And you want to be sure that they're compensated for their labor. But also you don't want to overpay, right? And we're going to put a couple of resources in the description below that will help you determine the kind of editing you want, but also look at some price ranges that are useful to you. Caroline, how do you choose your editor?
So it depends on what stage I'm in. If I'm looking for an editor, like to do that deep dive, that developmental edit to really, close their eyes and like jump into my story. And I write creative nonfiction. So I am looking for someone who I can really trust, and also someone who knows what I'm writing about, like knows the subject matter, or at least knows where to do some research. I don't necessarily need them to find discrepancies in my work. I mean, it's a bonus if they do, but I need them to sort of understand it so that the point that I'm trying to make, they understand it too. And we need to be on the same page with that. If I'm looking for someone like the next stage of my writing to do copy line editing, then that is somebody more technical. And I prefer them not to know as much about what I'm writing for, because I want them to question what I've written. And I had a really fun experience with my book. This gentleman was one of the editors, and he's from upstate New York. That's what he wrote in the comment. That's why I know. And he started questioning things where he was like, I don't understand this. This doesn't really make sense. Like, is this real? And at first I felt, a little bit affronted, but actually, when I thought about it, it was great that he did that, because my audience is wide and there are a lot of people, hopefully, reading my book. So I want as many people to understand it. And of course, it's not going to appeal to every single person, right, but it was a really interesting experience. And then, of course, for somebody who's proofreading, that's when I really want somebody who's just technical, straight looking at just these mistakes that I've for sure made in my work.
Yeah, and I think another thing that I think about, and this goes along with what Caroline was saying, is what do I know my weaknesses are, right? As Caroline can attest, I tend to do things like introduce litters of puppies in books and then just drop them like they just disappeared off the planet. Or as one editor told me once, I had 7 Tuesdays in a row, right? So like that kind of thing just is part of my writing process, and I don't always catch it myself. So I need to know the editor I hire is going to be able to see those things and address them for me. But it's also just a matter of fit, even for a proofreader, right? Like they need to be able to work your timeline. They need to be able to in your budget, and you have to kind of like them because you have to trust them with this thing you've put all this time into. So yeah.
I would recommend always, if you can, get on a call with them and just see if it feels comfortable, and then just trust them. And also, I would say, don't forget that your editor, their name, may not be directly on your book, but it is on your book, and it's just as important to them for your book to be good.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have questions or comments, we have a comment space below, and we'd love to hear them. If there's something specific about editing that you'd like us to talk about, let us know.
Thank you.
Bye.